Hi everyone, this is a video about how to pull away from the side of the road successfully on your driving test without failing. I'm afraid it is a big fail rate exercise. There's lots of things that can go wrong with it. It can either be a control fault with stalling, clutch control, things like that. It can be an observation fault where you don't check around enough or see things or even miss your blind spot. Or you could make people even slow down on the road. It can also be a signalling problem. You might signal at the wrong time, scare people, and then they stop or emergency stop or act differently because of your signal. And I'm afraid all of those things can equate to you failing your driving test. Now, pulling up on the left is the most checked on exercise of all on your driving test. You're going to be pulled up 3 to 6 times on your driving test, definitely 3. Without a shadow of a doubt, because you've got the angle start, which is when you pull away from behind a car, about a car length away. He gets you to stop behind a car and then you pull away to check on your clutch control skills and everything else when you're pulling away. A hill start to make sure that you don't roll backwards and all of the other things as well, normal pull away. And then you're going to get a busy when you're traveling, and then he's going to wait until somebody's following you. Then he's going to get you to pull up on the left, which puts a lot of pressure because you've just stopped somebody behind you. And then you pull away when it's safe to do so in that situation. So you've definitely got 3 pull-ups, and then you've got another potential 3 on top of that to see if he needs to check on anything. So if he can see that there's a weakness in your blind spot or something like that, he's going to check more. So I call those normal pull-ups when you're just driving down a flat road and then he asks you to pull up on the left and then pull away. Now, not only have you got to pull up in the right place, in no driveways, no double yellow lines, single yellow lines and all of that stuff, not opposite another parked car, all of those things, but that pull away is just vitally important that you get it right. Zoning into the signal part of this, because I want to make a proper point about this, you do not just put your signal on immediately, right? Because there might be people behind you coming, and we don't want to tell them that we're leaving the side of the road when we haven't even got it into gear and we're not even ready, because we've got no intention of going whatsoever. We do not want to be telling the people behind that we're going when we don't want to, and we actually want them to overtake us, right? The signal to the right is to alert the oncoming people that you're leaving the side of the road. That is what it's for, unless it's very, very busy. The only time that you signal to the right when there's people behind you is if there's a gridlock traffic jam that you literally have to get into on purpose to actually leave the side of the road, which is a relatively rare situation. Let's say you live in London. It would happen if you lived on the side of the road and in the morning you got up in the morning and then there's gridlock traffic. You'd put your signal on to ask to go into the traffic jam. Right? On your driving test, if you pull up on the left and you stop somebody behind you, because that's the nature of the beast, that's the busy that I spoke about earlier. If you pull up on the left like that and make the person behind you stop, again, same thing. We do not want to be signaling to the right to pull off in front of the person that you've literally just stopped, because that would be extremely confusing for him. Can you imagine if you were following someone and then they just pulled up on the left for like 1 second and then they tried to pull away? That would be very confusing for you. You pull up on the left and you go handbrake neutral signal and you wait there. And then if there's only a couple of people behind you, because they're giving way to oncoming people now, you wait for them to overtake you. And then you do the process of your mirror signal blind spot maneuver to pull away when there's a gap behind you. You do not signal to the right until there's a gap behind you. The only time that you would signal to the right and you would pull off in front of the person that you literally just stopped is if you pull up on the left and you stop, and then it holds up the people behind you, and then you notice that the oncoming people are just forever coming, forever. There's just been some kind of like release of a traffic light or a traffic jam of some description, and they keep coming, and the person behind you can't physically overtake you. On your driving test, that would be extremely rare, because the examiner would probably see that there's loads of traffic and probably not pull you up in that place because of that situation. He'd normally pull you up on the left. It does make somebody stop behind you, but he can see that they would be able to overtake you. However, it has happened. You know, I've got a memory of my student pulling up on the left and it stopped the person behind, and then there was just traffic coming just for miles, I think there had been some kind of release of a temporary traffic light, and then all of these people came. That was years ago, but that student unfortunately failed because she was like, oh, I can't go in front of the person behind me. You can, if there is oncoming people forever, just forever coming, yeah, because the person behind you cannot get past you. It is rare. Normally you pull up on the left and you can see that there's 1 or 2, maybe even 3 people waiting for like a group of people oncoming. As soon as those people have gone, let those people overtake you, and then you go, right, cool, there's a gap, and then you check everything, blind spot, and signal goes on when there's no one behind you, or there's a big enough gap behind you for you to be able to go without slowing the next person down. All right, guys, so I'm going to do a demonstration of this now, and I really hope this helps. Okay guys, so I've come to the Cheltenham Test Centre, and from the Cheltenham Test Centre you're parked at the side of the road, and then you need to pull away onto the road and just join traffic as you're driving down the road. Now I do appreciate that some test centres have their own car park, and this wouldn't be the beginning of your test, but Cheltenham has an especially difficult beginning in my opinion, because you've got to go straight out onto the main road. So the very first thing to remember is that you cannot signal to the right when you're thinking about going. There cannot be anybody behind you. So when I'm doing mock tests for people, or when they're doing a driving lesson with me, if I see my student literally just go like that and then prepare the car, I'll ask them to turn their signal off, right? Because if we've put this signal onto the right and we haven't even put it into gear, then we're communicating to all the traffic on the road that we want to go, and we're not even in gear yet, yeah? So if the person on the road is a kind person, or they're freaking out or whatever, and they slow down to let you go, you may not even be ready to go. So if that person's being kind to you, one, it's going to frustrate them. Why are you not pulling out? I've told you to go. Or if they're scared and they slow down and stop because they think, oh, what's that person doing? Are they going to pull off in front of me? Then people may go into the back of that car and cause a traffic crash, sorry. So we don't want to be signalling to the right if there's movement in the traffic and there's gaps in the traffic behind you. You need to wait for a gap. So on the Cheltenham Test Centre, I've seen students, whether they're mine or other people's, when I'm seeing people drive away, that they go like this, they go mirrors, signal, and then they see someone coming and they're like, turn it off. And then they wait for a new gap, they wait for the person to drive past them, and then they signal, and then they go again or try again. And if somebody comes again, they must turn the signal off. So if you put your signal on and then you're like, oh, damn it, there's someone coming, turn it off. Otherwise it could be a incorrect signal. You may freak out the person on the right. You definitely don't want to be communicating with them that you're moving off when you have no intention of doing it right at that moment. So like I said in the previous part of this video, you only signal to the right if there's gridlock traffic next to you and you are actually trying to get into the traffic, yeah? Or if you've pulled up on the left and the person behind you has had to stop because of your behaviour, because the examiner's asked you to pull up in that place and you've stopped the person behind, and then there's too many oncoming people for that person behind you ever to go. And then you would be like, do you know what, it's actually better for me to go at this point so the person behind me can restart their drive. But that is, like I said before, that is quite rare, okay? So that is the first thing. Do not signal immediately. Like sometimes when I start a mock test, yeah, they just go, I go, okay, move off when you're ready, and then they just go like that. Not good, yeah? Signal off and make sure you're not communicating with anyone behind you, all right? First thing. Okay, so I'm going to do a full demonstration of this pull away, and I really hope this helps you, because as I say, pulling up on the left is extremely common. It's the most checked on exercise of your entire test. You need to get this right, okay? Really important. He's going to keep on checking it over and over. You may even pull up 3 times on one road. Yeah, if he's running out of time and he hasn't done enough pullaways, he'll just go, pull up on the left please, and you'll do that. Then you'll pull away and you'll go a little bit down the road and he'll say, pull up on the left please, and you'll be like, okay, and you'll be pulling up and you'll be like, have I done something wrong? Not necessarily. He's just running out of time and he's got to do these pull-ups to see whether you always do it correctly. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do my pull away. Okay, so I'm just going to check my surroundings to begin with. I can't see any pedestrians on the road. I can see people coming towards me and there's no one behind me. Actually, a van is just turned onto the road really far down the road, so I'm just keeping that in mind. Okay, so clutch down. first gear with my palming technique, and just checking from the left blind spot for pedestrians in my left mirror, looking in my interior mirror, and forward now, checking the right mirror. There's a learner behind me pulling away. I'm at the test centre. Okay, and I can see a car on the right in the other road. There looks like a gap behind this learner. There's a van coming, you see. Now this is the Cheltenham Test Centre. Takes ages to pull away from here. If you're doing your test here, by the way, be secretly happy that it takes ages to pull away. Think about all that glorious time that's being burnt and you're not actually doing your driving test, yeah? Never be in a rush to pull away. If you can't go, be secretly happy. Okay, so set the gas, find the biting point. There's no one behind me, I can see in my right mirror. Checking the left mirror, left blind spot, left mirror, interior mirror, look forward, no one coming. Right mirror, no one coming. Checking the blind spot, absolutely no one there. Signal to the right because I'm not confusing anyone, no one's around. Handbrake down, checking again. The car is now miles away behind me, that's fine. Checking my mirrors as I go. Yep, lovely. Looking really far ahead to complete the pull away. Cool, so no one was affected by my pull away. Everything was absolutely clear. On that occasion, I didn't need to wait for many people at all. But you could see when I was talking before that there was loads of people overtaking me, yeah. And I would not have signalled whilst I was waiting for them to overtake me. Guys, I really, really hope that helps, because it is an extremely common exercise and I really don't want you to fail for that. All right, guys, so take care. Speak to you soon.